So why is brand messaging strategy important for your business? Well, brand messaging actually plays a much more pivotal role when it comes to branding and marketing your business. And it's so much more than just a slogan or a tagline. It's actually how you shape your target audience's minds when it comes to trusting you and trusting your brand. Hi everyone, it's Leanne Cohens here, Digital Success Catalyst and owner of Marketing Lead. Today I'm going to be sharing what it is that you need to do around your brand messaging and your brand strategy that is actually going to attract your ideal soulmate clients to you. Like I said before, creating your brand messaging is so much more than actually a slogan or a tagline. It really is how you show up and how your ideal clients perceive you. So one of the first things that you really need to do is have a solid understanding of your ideal target audience. So what I'm going to do is actually just share a workbook with you that I actually use. So to get a solid understanding of your ideal client, you really need to know exactly who it is that you're talking to. You've got to have a really clear understanding of who they are, what they care about, and what type of approach will actually work for them. Because at the end of the day, branding and messaging and marketing in general is all about creating an emotion and creating trust and creating that feeling that people want to actually work with you because you say you can do, or you do what you actually say you can do. Your customer avatar is a fictional character that you create that actually represents your ideal prospect. It will give you a really clear, once you've done this work, it'll give you a really clear understanding of their motivating beliefs, their fears, their secret desires, and everything that takes to influence their buying decisions. Again, as I said before, it's all about creating that emotion. So if you don't know who it is that you're talking to and you don't know what it is that inspires them and why they would actually want to work with you, you're not going to get your message across. So it really does help you tap into that emotional aspect, and it will actually also become very obvious if you do have any gaps in your marketing messages that you're not aware of. When it comes to marketing online, you can no longer just show up and throw things out there and hope that something sticks. People have got the attention span of less than a goldfish. So you really have to be so crystal clear. And to do that, you start with knowing exactly who your ideal customer is. So you look at their goals and their values. What is it? What motivates them to buy? You look at their challenges and their pain points. What is it that you do that's going to make their life easier? Because at the end of the day, people don't really care about you or your business. They just want to know how you can make their life easier. So having an understanding of their challenges and their pain points makes it so much easier when you come to start crafting your message and even putting your calls to actions out there. And telling people what it is that you need them to do to start working with you or to sign up or to connect with you. And then the next thing that you need to look at is their objections and the different roles that they play in the purchase process. That's why, as long as everything's optimized on Google Ads works so well, because you're actually meeting people when they're ready to buy, because they're actively searching for what it is that you sell. And then of course the other thing is actually having a look at the sources of information and where they get that information from. That is why sitting down and actually mapping out your ideal customer is so important, because it will actually determine how they work with you, and it will actually determine the kind of messaging that you're going to show up with and put in front of them. After that, the next thing is to actually figure out your USP, which is your unique selling position. Creating a unique selling position is actually determining what it is that makes your brand different from your competitors, and actually shows your ideal clients why they should trust you instead of your competitors. It's also looking at the different elements that you put out there. There's a very specific diagram that we use. This is actually going through and working through your brand messaging. The first thing you do is you start looking at your overall brand story. So what is your purpose? Why are you in business? What's your mission and what's your vision statement? So your vision statement is the overall purpose for your business and the overall reason for you doing what it is that you do. The next thing is looking at your mission, which is how are you actually going to achieve your vision statement? And they generally sort of come down into three core statements that actually help you start achieving your vision and your purpose. Then of course you've got your brand promise tagline and then pillars. Creating your USP is where you actually start looking at what it is that you do for your clients. What is it that makes you unique? What are the features and the benefits of working with you over the top and apart from working with your competitors? This is a really, really crucial step when it comes to creating a brand, because it's the fastest way that you're going to be able to connect with your ideal client, because you're speaking their language, you're talking to their pain points, you're not waffling on about everything that you do, you're letting them know how you can make their life easier. Having this locked down and actually locking down your unique selling position is vitally important when it comes to creating your brand messaging. So you can see here there is a bit of a strategy around here. So you start with your story, you've got your brand promise, which is your tagline, and then specific strengths and specific areas that actually make you different to your competitors and make you different to everyone else out there. And from there, you can then create your actual marketing message and your unique selling position, because you're very, very clear on what separates you from everybody else. And that's where you can start pulling in testimonials and client reviews and things like that. That's just to give you just an overall idea of how it all fits together when it comes to your branding and your messaging. So it always starts with knowing exactly who it is that you're talking to, knowing exactly what the pain points are, because that's going to determine what goes into your messaging. It's going to determine the language that you use and what the end results are going to be. Once you've got those two things locked down, your ideal client and your unique selling position, as well as some of your other messaging, from there you can actually start having a look at setting up a really clear goal, because again, that's going to determine how you show up. It's going to determine where you show up, and it's going to determine what information you put out there. The whole idea is if you're doing this just for brand awareness, then you're not going to have very clear calls to action such as buy now or click here or anything like that. So you've got to become very clear as to why you're showing up and what the end result is and what the clear goal is that you want them to achieve. So whether, like I said, it's brand awareness so that you start becoming a lot more recognizable, whether you want them to sign up for a newsletter or a lead magnet. And I've actually done a video previously talking about lead magnets and how to create those properly. And I actually do have some checklists and things on my resources page as well, which you can check out, and I'll put the links below. It could be that you're looking at improving your reputation, or maybe you just want to become a thought leader and you want to start being seen as the expert in your field and the go-to person when it comes to your particular industry. Again, having a very, very clear goal of what the action is that you want them to take, and the reason that you're actually showing up online is really, really important, because like I said, there's no point just rocking up and throwing information out there, because you're going to get lost in the noise and you're going to waste your most precious commodity, which is your time. When you start looking at showing up online and start looking at showing up on social media as a whole, and even just marketing your business, and this isn't just on social media, this messaging pulls through to every single touch point that you have, whether it's your website, whether it's brochures that you put out. It could even be as far as in your email signature, where you might have your USP or a tagline, so that people get an understanding of who you are and what you do. When it comes to marketing your business, creating this brand messaging is so important, and doing it strategically, because again, the most important thing that you have in running your business is your time. And spending years throwing stuff out there and just waiting for something to stick is not going to work unless you've got millions in the bank and you've got time to just let things tick along. If you don't, then I do recommend that you start with looking at who your ideal client is and getting really, really clear on who they are, so that you can be so specific with your languaging and the words that you use. Then getting very clear on what your unique selling position is, because then that determines what you put into your messaging. That determines what pain points you speak to with your ideal client. That determines what words that you use. And then finally getting, again, very clear on your goal. So that way, when you are putting things out, you're actually telling people what to do. And there's a favorite saying that I heard years ago, which is people are silently begging to be led. So when it comes to the online space, if you don't tell people what to do or what it is that you'd like them to do as far as taking an action, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do it. Having your goal in place so that you're very clear of sign up here or download this or comment below is actually telling people an action that you want them to do. And that's why having that goal in place is so incredibly important. That is 3 of the top tips when it comes to starting with your brand messaging strategy and why it is so important for you as a business owner showing up online. And so I hope that has been of some value to you today. If you'd like to learn more about branding and messaging, I do have an online course that's going live in the next week or so, which is effectively 6 modules of working through every single aspect of your brand and creating your branding and your messaging strategy so that when you do show up, people know exactly who you are, what you're about, and how you can make their lives easier. I hope that has been of some value to you today, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now. If you'd like to learn more about how to grow your business in the digital space and actually how to market your business online, then make sure that you click the subscribe button below and don't forget to click the bell so that you get notified every single time we upload a new marketing video.